guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. Today is Funday Friday, so I'm going to do the thing that I love doing the most, which is turning junk into junk journals. Okay, so this is just a box that was going to go in the garbage, and I deconstructed it and made it into a little book. So this can be done with just about any box. Most boxes have the opportunity to rip them apart. There's like a seam along the side, and you can just rip that seam open and then cut off that excess side over here, which is this. So this was over here, okay? And yeah, now you have a book. Isn't that just so freaking amazing? Like, anything can become whatever you want it to be in the junk journal world. So yeah, I'm just going to take some of this trash and turn it into treasure. So here's how I normally start this process. Again, I deconstruct the box, ripping off that extra side panel, removing that, this flap right here, and coming up with this concept. Then deciding how wide my spine is going to be, because as you can see, these are two very different boxes. One is much wider than the other, therefore the spine will be a lot larger on either side. Okay, so I believe this is a 2-inch spine. Here, I'll check it with my ruler. Just under 2 inches. Oh no, exactly 2 inches. Okay, so this is a 2-inch spine on this particular box. This one's a little bit wider, so it's going to be a 2.5-inch spine. All right, the box that I'm working with today is this one. It was some sort of pasta dinner, I don't know. My girls like to eat certain things, and anyway, so this was a box from that, and this one is just under 2 inches. It's like 1 7/8 of an inch. I'm sorry, yeah, 1 7/8, yeah. So all I've done to this was cover it in white gesso, so that when I cover the actual box, none of this writing will show through. So yeah, that's all I've really done. And I wrap the inside with just this paper. This is just wrapping paper. It's like craft paper. It comes in a giant roll. And of course I ordered too much of it, and now I need to use it all up. Which is normally the case. I usually order too much of the wrong stuff sometimes. But anyway, let's just go ahead and wrap the outside. Again, it's just covered in white gesso. If you don't have gesso, please don't go out and buy gesso. But gesso is a very thick acrylic paint, and it will cover up any surface that you need covering up. If you don't have white gesso, just use regular white paint. If you don't have, a tube of white paint, I think they come like 59 cents at Michael's, or you can probably get it for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, a bigger bottle, whatever. But yeah, if you don't have white gesso, don't worry about it. You can still make this with your garbage, your junk, okay? And of course, with this craft paper, don't even worry about having that. If you have a paper bag from the grocery store, please use that. All right, we're trying to use up what we have on hand. Okay, so let's not worry about the things that you don't have. Let's just use what we've got on hand. So yeah, all I've done was just cover this inside with this very same craft paper that I just happen to have. Okay, so it's in my stash. I didn't go out and buy it. I ordered a roll probably 2 years ago, and I'm still working off of that very same roll. This right here, I realize it's a little thin. Okay, so, but I do get good coverage when I put my book underneath it. And all I'm really going to do is just take my outside book, determine what's my right side up versus, the top from the bottom, the front and the back. And then I'm just going to cover it up with this wrapping paper. All right, so let's do that really quickly, and then we can move on to some other fun stuff. So what you really need to do is make sure that you have a good bit. So this particular, I'm calling it a book now. It's no longer a box, guys. I'm using this as a book from here on out, and it actually measures 12.5 inches when it's fully opened. Okay, and yeah, it's 12.5 by 8 1/4. All right, so 8 1/4 high, 12.5 wide when it's fully open. When it's closed, it's about 5 3/4 of an inch by 8 1/4. So yeah, that's what we're working with right now. Of course, your boxes will be of different sizes, and you know, you just use whichever one suits you the best. I'm just going to freely measure this according to my cutting mat below, and I'm just going to cut it right at 13 so that I can get enough to wrap around the outside and the inside of my box. Okay, so let's just see what we got there. 9. Okay. Whoa, Craftalanche. Jeez. Just knocked over all of my glues. Okay. So now we have this. Alright. And this is plenty to wrap around the inside when you cover the outside. Okay. Yeah, so I can cut this here and then use that, and then we can clean up the edges, because I do want a nice straight edge around the inside, because this is what's going to be seen when you open up the book. Okay, so this bottom edge looks nice and neat. I'm just going to straighten up this edge right here, and I'm just using my standard shears. This right here is a little bit too long to fit into either one of my guillotines, so I'm just going to cut away this excess down here. Let's see, I'm gonna have to cut this section right here to try to straighten it up. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Pretty close to straight. Okay, so now this will become my outside cover. And yeah, so to begin, I am just going to use Fabrifix glue. I know it's a little thick. Let me just see. I may have to get my spatula. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use Scotch Create glue stick to glue this down. It's Fabrifix is just a little thick, and I can't put my eye on my spatula right now. So let me grab my blue silicone mat so I don't make a mess on my paper that's going on my cover. And I'm just going to glue this with Scotch Create glue stick. Focus, 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 focus. That's what it looks like. Alright, so again, you don't have to get this, but Scotch Create is a permanent adhesive. It dries clear, and it's one of my favorite glues. I just don't have enough of it, so I use it sparingly. And I am just getting glue all over the outside cover of the book. Okay, so this is nice and covered with glue stick everywhere, and making sure I get my corners really well. Okay, and now I'm just going to slide it out the way, put down my paper, and carefully, you want at least maybe 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides for wrapping around to the inside. So I'm just going to place this down with plenty of room to spare all around. Okay, so yeah, I have about an inch, just about an inch all the way around the entire inside of the book. And I am just going to finger smush this out and then grab my brayer and rub this through. So my brayer is, it's just this tool right here, and it'll get everything nice and smooth. All the creases will then come through, like where the box folds, but it makes sure that everything gets adhered evenly. Okay, and I'm just applying a little bit of pressure as I roll my brayer across here, and I think that is good. I think that's nice and covered. Yeah. All right, so for the next important step is to remove any bulk, because this is a thin box. I don't want it to be too bulky. When I'm making my junk journals out of, let's say, if I'm making a junk journal out of fabric on the outside, there's going to be some you know, room and give and take on fabric. When you're making a junk journal out of paper and it's a thin box, you don't want too much bulk. All right, so all I'm going to do, and I'll draw it on here for you just so you can see. I don't need this line, but I'm going to draw it on here for you guys. All I'm doing is cutting away this much on the angle. Okay, so I'm going to cut that much off on both sides, I mean on all 4 sides of the book, not getting too close to the book cover itself. So there's about 7/8 of, an eighth of an inch between my line and the book itself. So I'm just estimating, because what's going to happen is some of it will you know, be close, some of it will be further away, and anyway, you'll just see what I mean. So here I'm just going to cut this off, and that gives me a nice corner fold like so. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to all 4 sides. That one's a little close, but it's okay. That'll work. Okay, so this is how we're going to do this. I'm just going to take my, again, Scotch Create glue stick, and I'm going to get glue on both the paper and the book at the same time, making sure that I get all the way to the edge of the paper. Okay. And this will be my first fold over. And I'm just pulling it slightly tight, okay? Not too tight that it tears, but I'm just pulling it tight so that it lays flat. And I'm going to do the same thing to all 4 sides. Getting most of my glue onto the paper because it knows where it's going, and I'm just getting a little bit onto the book as well. and pulling it slightly tight. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing again. And you'll see that those corners line up fairly close and make a very nice 45-degree angle, like so. Okay, and then some of this will work itself out once you open and close the book a few times. It will smooth itself out. It just needs to get used to where it's going to be permanently living. Okay, so there we have that. And again, you don't want it to be too tight that it tears. I'm just going to use my brayer to smooth out some of my rough edges. And move my glue mat out of the way. Okay. Okay, and now we have this. Alright, and I'm just going to give it a couple of times opening and closing it just so that the paper gets used to where it's going to live. And yeah. Alright, so that's that. That's all we needed to do for that. I covered the inside and the outside with the exact same amount of paper. Again, use a paper bag if you have one. Alright, so there's that. And I'm going to determine that this is my top. Let me just see what identifying marks I have here that I can use as my top. And I just have to snip that little section right there. Alright, so this is now my top of my book. So my book opens this way. Alright, so now all I really want to do is decorate the outside because I love that part. So for my outside, this is the spine. It measures just under 2 inches, 1 7/8. Okay. And I went ahead and grabbed some papers and some pictures from various books that I have on hand. And I'm just going to do a little bit of tearing here. Sorry for the noise. But this is just a roll of, what is this, painter's tape? Or painter's paper. So like if you're painting a room or if you're having somebody come in and paint your house for you, they usually lay down paper like this and tape it all up just not to get paint on your furniture or floors or whatever. Anyway, I have this because, I don't know, I think I took it from a roll that my uncle had at his house. And yeah. So I am just going to rip away a piece of that paper. I'm going to decorate the outside front cover of the book right now. And yeah, I'm just going to tear away some of this. I don't think I need it all. And I'm going to put my straight edge on the inside. Okay, this is the image that I'm using right here. It came from a Stamperia pack, I believe. Let me see if I have it. I don't see it right now, but it was a full page Stamperia pack from my Amazon haul the other day, and yeah, I don't know where it's at right now. Yeah, so I'm just going to mat this on here. I don't know if I want this. It's a process, guys. Okay, I'm not perfect. We're learning together most of the time. But yeah, I don't know if I think I like it better on this side. And I don't even need that much of it, except that I want it to show top and bottom just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think I can do that. And it's just going to slightly become part of the image. All right, just barely. All right, so I am going to glue this paper to my picture. All right, not to the book yet, because anything can happen and I can always get another picture, but I can't make another book right now. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here all the way to the edge that I think the picture is going to come up to. Okay. And I'm going to lay my picture down. This is my front cover image. I'm just going to lay it down right where I think it's going to go on the book. And by the way, this red paper also comes in green. I have some of that as well. Yeah, but again, I didn't buy it. I just saw the roll at my uncle's house and cut off about 2-3 feet of it. Maybe 2-3 yards. Sorry, Uncle. If you're looking for your painter's paper, it's at my house. So anyway, there's that. So yeah, I like that. I like the way that looks. It's not too bad. And here's my book again. So this is going to another Craftalange. Jeez. This is going to go right here on the outside cover, front cover of the book. And it will look like this. Alright. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for the back cover, which is the other side of this same paper. Again, it's a Stamperia paper pack and cardstock quality or cardstock weight. And I'm just going to place this on the back side. I'm not going to use any painter's paper this time. And I'm just going to mark and cut away the excess that I don't need. And this I can use my mini, excuse me, my mini guillotine for. So let's do that. Okay, let's see. And I need it to matte, so I can cut away just a little, 1/8 of an inch more from the bottom. Okay, that looks great. Okay. And with the big decisions made, we can just glue this down. Again, I'm gluing onto the paper because it knows where it's going. And this way, it just glues directly to the book where it needs to go, as opposed to the book trying to figure out, well, where does this go? So I'm just gluing this onto here. And I'm going to use I don't think I have a dry wipes, but just going to grab a wipes just to get the glue off my fingers. Okay, so there's that. And do the same for this side. What you want to do is make sure that your margins are the same on top and bottom, and if you notice that this front cover is shorter than my back cover, so I'm going to have to cut this down some. I could have measured it. I don't know why I didn't, but you know, like I said, crafting, what is it, guys? 101. That's right. So I should have just measured the two covers together. seeing that they are one and the same and going in the same location, but I didn't. And now I have to guesstimate my way through this. Sorry. Let's just see what this measures. This measures, oh, just about 7 inches. So that's a good sign. And I can see here I can take off another 1/8 of an inch. To get it even on both the top and the bottom. I think that's pretty perfect. All right, let's glue this down before anything else happens. All right, and I'm just adding glue to the back of the image. And putting it in place. Oh, I can see I missed a corner. Remember, guys, get your corners. Okay, that's the most important part. Corners and edges. Okay, we can always improvise the intersections once we're once we're done, but make sure you always get your corners and your edges. Okay, that looks pretty cute, pretty special. I like it a lot. Okay, so now we have that and that. All right, I'm just gonna straighten this up just a hair. Okay, yeah, and for the spine, which I have not decided if I'm doing a hidden spine or not, but just know that this is going to go down here. So if I do a hidden spine, which is probably the best option, or I could not, I can do a regular spine, just come through here and then cover it up with this ribbon. This ribbon was $2.99, I believe, at Michael's or Joann's. It's 2 yards of polyester lace, and it's sort of like a ribbon, like a crochet, crochet type ribbon. So yeah, I'm gonna do a regular spine, a 3-hole pamphlet stitch spine, and then cover it with this awesome crochet ribbon. So I'm just going to, and I like the frayed edges at the top here, I'm just going to go ahead and cut away some down here at the bottom. And I'll straighten that up when I'm ready, and then fray the edges down here as well. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you right here, and we'll pick this up another day when I do my signatures for the inside and find some decorated pages. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a crafty day and stay naturally curious, and I'll talk to you in the next one.